Hello Groveland Township. Today's video is being shot on September the 4th, 2019, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to let everybody know about the state of the township. For those of you who received the Citizen, you probably saw a document in there, an article in there, which covers kind of the state of the township in a narrative form here. But I thought it'd be nice for those of you who haven't had the opportunity to get the Citizen to know a little bit about where the township is and where we're going. First of all, our master plan, which we've been working on for over a year, is very near completion and should be done a little bit later this year. We're now in the final stages of it. And it does emphasize that up north feel and rural quality that all of us moved out here for. That's not changing. What is changing, though, is an opportunity to have some business in the township so that we can help run the community going forward. Every planner you could talk to will tell you that it's tough to run a community with no business district because they generally pay more than they actually cost in tax support services. So with that, we have decided to help brand a portion of the township on Dixie Highway where it starts in Springfield Township at exit 93 where I-75 crosses, goes up through the northern part of Springfield Township, all the way through Groveland and through a good part of Holly till you get back on the expressway at exit 106. That portion of the road we're branding the Dixie Byway. And to that event, we think it will end up helping us develop some of the businesses that will support the rural quality and the family-oriented recreation that we have out here. Some of you may not know this, that there's a very large bicycle trail path that the DNR has on just the other side of the expressway from Groveland Township at exit 101. The new ORV park that's going to be going in by Mount Holly will be the spark plug that we think will kind of stimulate the need for some support services. We envision people needing things like bicycle shop accessories, maybe a place to get tires for an off-road vehicle, and some places to eat, things of that nature to support the people that will be using the ORV park, the bicycle paths, and some of the other recreational activity we have out here. While the overwhelming majority of the community itself stays the way it is, we do think the Dixie Highway, and what we're branding it as the Dixie Byway, will offer us some opportunity to have some business. And in this particular case, the township actually owns the majority of the property right at exit 101 and Grange Hall Road. So we want to take that property and now start to develop it for those kinds of support functions for the recreational activities. And that's what our goal is going forward. In addition to that, the auditor also gave us glowing response on our audit because the township is in exceptionally good financial condition. As always, we have not been buying things that we can't afford or kicking the can down the road for expenses that show up later and in a much worse position. We pay for everything we have. We fund all of our obligations. We try to make sure we are completely solvent, and we kind of do things the old-fashioned way. When we need money for a project or an infrastructure improvement, we put the money away till we have it. And in fact, that's what's been making a lot of the work that's been done in the township over the last years possible. We ended up using infrastructure dollars. They're not property tax dollars, but dollars we've captured from underutilized assets. And we put those monies away because they're not guaranteed year after year. We put them away till we have the funds to do things. For example, Fire Station 2 on Grange Hall Road at Jossman was paid for that way. Some of the storm warning sirens that are in were paid that way. Some of the hydrants that were put in were paid that way. Major repairs on Station 1 were also paid that way. And most importantly, recent years, we've used a lot of it for road work in the township. That's how we've been able to pay for these projects. They're all very expensive. And for example, this year we have a great deal of road work being done. For those of you who don't already know it, and I guess most of you would, Dixie Highway from Grange Hall Road north to the Expressway 106 ramp has just been resurfaced. Grange Hall Road south all the way down to Oak Hill is in the process of being done now. In addition, after that, we're going to see Grange Hall Road from Jossman to Dixie, or from Jossman to Tripp Road being resurfaced by this October sometime. Those are the projects for this year, along with the one that we did in conjunction with the Village of Ortonville and Brandon Township, and that's where Oak Hill Road off of M15 to Lease Road was resurfaced. And what we had them do on the Groveland portion is where M15 and Oakwood meet, we extended the right-hand turn lane going north so that more traffic could flow through that intersection when there's a red light there than has been allowed in the past by making the right turn lane longer. This is an improvement that we started working on last year, and I think it's going to make it a lot easier for people coming home to get through that intersection. Those are the projects for this year. The Dixie Highway that we talked about, what they're going to be doing on Grange Hall Road, and what we did on Oakwood Road. Now, for 2021, we've got another project that's been expanded, and that is paving Barron Road. Originally, we had funded just paving half of the road, which is really 1 year's project. But the Road Commission came back to us a couple of weeks ago and said, we have an opportunity to pick some federal funding money that other counties in Michigan are not using at a discounted rate. And if we do, we'd like to know if you'd like to do all of Barron Road and get it done in one shot. So our board said, yes, we'd take that opportunity. And again, because we've put money away in the infrastructure project, we were able to allocate 10% of a $5.3 million job to get all of Barron Road paved. For those of you who may not have lived here a long time or don't know what the paving analysis for the township is, I can tell you there's only a few roads that can actually be paved in Groveland Township. And they are all primary roads in order to qualify for federal aid money, which pays for 80% of the project. And those roads are Groveland Road, Grange Hall Road, Oak Hill Road, Wildwood Road, and Barron Road. Those are the only roads you're ever likely to see paved in the township, because when we make application for them, it takes usually 5 to 7 years, but you get in the paving project, you can end up getting them paved usually a mile to a mile and a half a year. That's all Oakland County funds for gravel road paving anywhere in the entire county, and we have to compete with the other 21 townships in the county of Oakland for that paving dollar. So you can see why it takes a long time to get your project lined up and get it approved. But with all the money that's been pumped into roads in the last year or two, it's allowed us to expedite or move up a little bit of the paving projects. In addition to that, the thing I want to tell everybody about, and it's in the article, is the census. In 2020, we're going to take a new census. For those of you who don't know, Groveland Township for the last 9 years has actually been much smaller than it was. Our peak was in the 2000 census when we were around 6,150 people. By 2010, after the Great Recession, we were actually down to our current census number, which is around 5,600. We're hopeful that when we have the 2020 census, we may be pretty close to what we had in the year 2020, 20 years ago. And so it's very important that all of you take the time when the census collections information comes around next year to fill it out. That drives some of the money that comes to us through the state of Michigan from sales tax collections. And just to give you an example, because we had such a precipitous drop, 11% of our population by the year 2010 had dissipated, we ended up losing about $400,000 over the last 9 or 10 years because our census number was smaller, and that number drives some of the revenue sharing that comes from the state of Michigan. So I encourage all of you to make sure you and your neighbors and friends fill out the census information when it starts coming out next year. It's very important to the township to have that money to be able to forestall the need for tax increases. In addition, for the first time that I'm aware of in at least 24 years, we have decided to let the Headley rollback take back both the township's millage and the fire department. It's not a big reduction, but we think it's your money and we should be passing it on to you when we have it. And just so you know, for 2020, there will be an election, not only an election, but an election for a fire millage, because the one we have will be expiring. And so as we get closer, we'll talk to you about that as well. Basically, that's the bulk of what's in this article. You're welcome to read it. It's the August 31st edition of the Citizen. It's on, I think, page 9, and it emphasizes that what the township's real focus has been ways to improve the quality of life up here while maintaining that up north feeling. Our projects are generally designed to try and help make the community either safer or provide significant financial benefit to our residents without the need to go to extra taxes. That's why we've done the gas line project that's signed up over 700 homes that couldn't get gas before. That's why we did the ISO project, because it helped lower people's homeowners insurance rates. That's why we have the dumpster service, and that's why we put the money into roads, because we all use them and we want to make them as safe as possible. So that's basically the update for the township's state of the township right now for 2019. If you have any questions, please feel free to call or email me. Any of those are fine. We'll try and get back to you with an answer for your question. The other thing I wanted to do is just take a moment here and maybe show you some of the projects that we've done for the paving. So with that, we're going to go to a little remote shoot here and show you some of those paving projects. Thank you, Groveland Township. Okay, I'm standing in front of the township office right now, and the portion of Grange Hall Road from where Van Road meets Grange Hall on the west, all the way to where Grange Hall meets Josman Road intersection is going to be repaved between now and the end of October. And now we're going to take you to the next site. Okay. I'm standing on Beakey's lawn here at Oakwood Road, and this is the portion from M15 to Lease Road that runs through Groveland Township, the village of Ortonville, and part of Brandon that's all been resurfaced just recently. If you'll notice, behind me is the northbound right-hand lane, which we had extended so that the traffic during the peak hours could move much more efficiently. This allows a lot of people to be able to make a northbound right turn while others are waiting for the traffic signal to make the left-hand turn. Next, we're going to go to Dixie Highway. Corner of Grange Hall Road and Dixie Highway. This portion of the road from this intersection north till you get on the expressway at 106 was completed just before the Renaissance Festival opened up this year. They're currently working on the southern portion, which will be from this intersection down to Oak Hill Road, which is the township line on the southern border. When this is completed, it means all of Dixie Highway in Groveland and Holly Township will be resurfaced this year. That's it for today, Groveland. Have a great day until the next video.